new and authentic. And my prayer every day is, Father, why not? I need you to raise these women, that we come out and be agents of change. Let them be an example. These girls we really look up to, and not look the other way, because these ones are feeding them with the wrong vibes. We need women that are truly God-fearing, women that are truly inspirational, women that are truly, what they say they are. And we have a lot of them. It's just that most of them are godly pastors, like my mentors, and they're godly women. But we also have some of them that are still not on the pastors, but are doing fantastic, and they should be role models to young girls. So we need a lot of us on the social media. That's the truth. When we're all coming out there, coming up there, coming out there, because the social media is a small global village on itself. You see that all the youths, the social media, my Instagram page tells me that my 85% of my followers are between the age of 18 and 40. Yeah. So, which means, and I'm sure so many other people have such, so if I have this amount of people, this age, which are actually the youths, within following me, I need to impact them positively. I don't have to put out anything fake out there, because they tend to want to do what they see you do, and then want to copy and then go all the way to do the wrong things to make sure they get there. So it's good we talk all the time and get these women understand, these girls to understand that, life is a process, the journey is a process, and then there's times and season. With time, you will get there. Because right now, the world out there are trying to get the children all corrupt. And social media is not helping. The children get fed up all the time through the media. So the best way for any parents, especially mothers, is for you to be hands-on the kids at home. My Bible makes us understand that however you train up your child, that's how the child will grow to become. So my advice for mothers out there is they should take keen interest in making sure that their children are fed spiritually first. It is very, very important. No matter how much temptation they face outside there, they will always remember what the Bible says and to do the right thing at the right time. So that's for me. And then secondly, I will also advise every mother to be involved, to be an involved parent. Get to talk, be friends with your kids. In fact, your children should be your best friends, because with that, you save yourself a lot of trouble, and then you try and confide in your children and let them know the truth. As things go on, is there a challenge at the home? Share it with them, and then is there a story you need them to hear? You let them know. Because if you don't tell them, somebody is out there waiting to help you tell them. And usually their version of the story is never true. So every mother should be involved with their children. That's my advice. And most importantly, bring them up in the way of the Lord. And again, I also tell mothers that are close to me, that come around me, that I counsel and I mentor, that it's very important for you to also showcase, what you are, what you really want your children to become, because they are watching. As much as we think they're not watching, they're watching. Even a little child, 1 year old, few months, they're watching and they imitate. So it's very important that, while at home, if you are the yelling wife, the nagging wife, the lousy wife, just know that your kids are watching. If you need to sort anything out with your husband, you do it privately. Yes! Now, I just want to ask you a quick question. Have you watched Exceptional Mom before? If you've not, then you're missing. You are longing to be inspired by other women. That is a program you need to watch. Exceptional Mom is one program every single woman, both married and single, should connect to. You will be blessed. I'm glad to be one. Yeah! Exceptional Mom, shape the future. Our parental tip for the week is
aquaculture as a world emergent industry and one of the fastest growing food production subsector in the world. And due to the apparently declining global fish catch, aquaculture is crucial for food security and nutrition for a rapidly growing global population in the nearest future. Approximately 200 million people around the world are involved in fishing and aquaculture, one way or the other, with efforts to provide around 100 million tons of fish every year. This will mean an average consumption of 16 kilos per person, but in many places where fish is the principal source of animal protein, average consumption is far higher. Much of the bountiful harvest is produced not just by large industrial operators, but by local small and medium-scale producers. And do you know that half the fish supplied to world markets come from developing countries? In Africa, Latin America, and Asia, Africa is blessed with abundant resources, human and natural, that are only now being properly tapped and harnessed. The success story of aquaculture abound in Nigeria, Ghana, and Malawi. And we bring the focus of the world onto glaring cases in Nigeria, which is the Iriwe Fish Farm village in Ijebu Ode, which rears the African catfish.
There is no end to knowledge, and the industry too, there is still room for them to learn more. So mountain training and training and retraining is also a key to enhance productivity.
Iriwe Farms has gained international recognition from bodies like FAO of the United Nations, DFID, JICA, UNDP.
On our own part is to source for more fund for them, because really speaking, there is no way you can really grow well in this kind of business without adequacy of resources. Without borrowing, without getting some loans, there is a limit on the growth. With 4,937 pounds, if they have 2 billion, access to 2 billion naira, that may not be even enough as working capital in a year.
We're one of the founders of who started aquaculture in Ghana, Crystal Lake, in collaboration with Water Research Institute. We had to do a trial to assess whether the local species could grow competitively in Ghana. And so this
Good afternoon and welcome to Panorama from the Sokoto Network Center. I am Sadia Umardiki. Today, the 17th of March, has been set aside by the United Nations to mark the International Children's Day of Broadcasting. Articles 12 and 14 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child say that children have the right to freely express their own views through the media on matters affecting them. For this year's celebration, our focus will be on uniting to reverse the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children. Don't go away. The long-awaited and highly significant public vaccination of President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo against COVID-19 has been held at the presidential villa. In demonstration of leadership and faith in the exercise, President Buhari and Vice President Osinbajo took their first jabs of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, which arrived the country last Tuesday. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has the report.
Using a penless narrow-gauge syringe, Chief Personal Physician to President Muhammadu Buhari, Dr. Suhaib Sanusi Rafindadi, administered the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine on the Nigerian leader. This could best be described as a symbolic confirmation of the safety and efficacy of the vaccine, as well as a demonstration of faith in the vaccination exercise. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo was also vaccinated by his personal physician, Dr. Nicholas Auduferen. Both leaders were presented their e-vaccination cards by the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib.
Your Excellency, this vaccine is safe. The after effects, as we know so far, are mild. But on the whole, there is no untoward adverse effect that's associated with this vaccine, and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFDAC.
President Muhammadu Buhari described COVID-19, which resulted in over 2.5 million fatalities and destroying several national and global systems, as an unseen but very potent enemy around the world. The speedy development of the vaccine, he said, is not only significant but underscores the collective resolve of humanity to overcome the pandemic. Having been vaccinated as a demonstration of leadership, the president made a strong case for Nigerians to do same so as to be protected from the deadly virus.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
While congratulating the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 on the successful multi-sectoral approach to the management of the pandemic, the President acknowledged the support of development partners and other critical stakeholders for supporting Nigeria thus far, promising that the resources provided will be equitably administered.
The response in Nigeria and ECOWAS sub-region has been robust, collaborative, and united. It was driven by a collective knowledge of the fact that no country is safe until every country is safe.
PTF Chairman and Secretary to Governor of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, attributed the event, which he described as memorable and remarkable, to the leadership qualities provided by President Muhammadu Buhari in the national response to COVID-19.
I think vaccine hesitancy would have to give way now to the reality. Our most strategic leadership have received them this morning. They are safe, they are efficacious, and it is for the good and well-being of our people.
Nigeria, which took delivery of 3.92 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine on Tuesday and expects to receive 84 million doses before the year runs out, is aiming to vaccinate 40% of its population this year and a further 30% in 2022. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTAi News.
Now, the presidency, in response to media inquiries, says that there was no side effect on President Buhari after COVID-19 vaccination. The presidency says the president felt normal and went about doing his job after he got his jab, dispelling fears about the safety of the vaccine administered on President Muhammadu Buhari and the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, on Saturday morning. There is nothing of a side effect, serious or mild, on the president. The statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says. The National Center for Disease Control has confirmed 195 new cases of COVID-19 as at Saturday, 6th of March, 2021. The breakdown shows that Lagos State is leading with 70 cases, followed by Kaduna with 22, Abia 20, Edo 18, Kano 10, Akwa Ibom has 9 cases. Rivers and FCT has 7 cases each. Borno 6, while Bauchi, Oyo have 5 cases each. Plateau and Ekiti 3. Niger and Ogun have 2 cases each, and Zamfara State has 1 case. This brings the total number of confirmed cases in the country to 158,237, with 137,645 discharged, while 1,964 deaths were recorded. The Kebbi State government is laying emphasis on preventive care in revolutionizing the health sector towards achieving the goals of quality healthcare delivery. The Governor, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, indicated this while receiving the report of community-based and girls' society organizations engaged in sensitization of the public on COVID-19 prevention at the Government House. Osman Abdullahi Shehu has the report.
Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, who emphasized on preventive care as in the case of COVID-19 remains the best option in fighting the pandemic, pointed out that some nations have perfected their healthcare system by placing premium on preventive care. He commended the organizations involved in the fight against COVID-19, pledging commitment to reinforce and mobilize citizenry not only on the health issue but also on good governance. Governor Bagudu commended his wife, Dr. Zainab Shinkafi Bagudu, for initiating the involvement of community-based organizations and civil society groups in COVID-19 control, as well as other health matters like sensitization of pregnant women to attend antenatal care and routine immunization, among others. The Commissioner for Health and the State Chairman COVID-19 Task Force, Jafar Muhammad, acknowledged the successes recorded by the community-based organizations and civil society groups in the enlightenment campaign at local government level. The team leader, Nasru Karofi, who presented a report to the governor, described the team performance as above average acceptance among rural communities on protection against COVID-19. The visit was an interactive session where members expressed their view. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTAi News.
As the world marks the International Children's Day of Broadcasting on the first Sunday March of every year, the theme for this year is focusing on uniting to reverse the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children. Lalata Abdullahi has more on the significance of the day.
The International Children's Day of Broadcasting, ICDB, was created by the UNICEF in 1991. It is aimed at encouraging broadcasters around the world to pay more attention to kids' programs, and it also allows children to be part of the programming process.
It's a great day where children express themselves and express their interest in media and in journalism as a whole.
The day is also marked in Nigeria, and in Sokoto State, some media houses have created a series of activities to celebrate the day. Some children speak on how they are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and the way to reverse the impact.
That it prevents me from going to school sometimes, and we've been in the house.
Schools have been locked down for 7 months, so I was able to learn how to work, and now I have a business and I've started business.
Children have been in their houses for many months, all courtesy of COVID-19. Protecting themselves is by being close to their parent and reporting any issue to their parent with immediate effect.
Broadcasters around the world participate and mark the day as they look for ways to make it special. In Sokoto, Lalata Abdullahi, NTAi News.
According to an analysis by UNICEF and Save the Children, approximately 150 million additional children are living in multidimensional poverty due to COVID-19 pandemic. This is because the pandemic has affected access to education, healthcare, housing, nutrition, sanitation, or water. How do we relate this to the situation in Nigeria and Sokoto State? With me in the studio to discuss this is Dr. Abdurrahman Ahmed, Director of Public Health, Sokoto. Saya, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
So, sir, what can parents do to reverse the impact of COVID-19 on children?
Good afternoon, our viewers and listeners. Honestly, there is a lot parent can do to reverse the effect because the damage has already been done. As we have seen from the report, children are reporting they have been in their houses for 7 months without going to school. That means a lot. Because those things that they're supposed to learn during that period is lost and forever. So what can be done is to mitigate that by parents being coaching their children to bridge those gaps that were created already by the pandemic. And another thing that parents can do is to dispel rumors. There was rumor going around that COVID-19 will be given to children in school under their umbilical cord. This is far from truth. The current COVID-19, there is no provision for anybody who is below 18 years. This vaccine is for only those that are 18 years and above, and it is going to start with healthcare workers, then elderly people, those at risk, having diabetes, hypertension, cancer, or the rest of it. Now, if you allow parents listen to these rumors and say, I'm not sending my child to school, you are doing more harm to these children. So I'm encouraging parents to please, in case of any information they get, let them reach out to the relevant authorities to get the fact. So the truth is, COVID-19, there is no provision for children for COVID-19 at the moment. We don't know what will happen next time, and the parents should please be as much as possible coaching, supportive to their children to mitigate. We know there are reports of more children are abused during this period of lockdown because of overstay and idleness. So even at that, if parents are monitoring what their wards are doing, all this, in fact, can be minimized.
Okay, what can government do in the direction of reversing?
Yeah, the government is already in the steps by reducing the holidays, which will give way to the gaps. Some state governments have paved way for automatic promotions with additional lessons to catch up with the gaps. So government can do more in expediting learning and also making schools more safe and making enabling policies and laws that will be supportive to children. So,
what do we expect from international communities to soften the blow?
Yeah, the international communities, honestly, too, have been very supportive in terms of building the infrastructure, supporting in developing infrastructure to the country. A lot of equipment have moved into Nigeria, all courtesy of developmental partners alongside the government. So that can be enhanced more. And advocacy to government, because no donor can do a policy, but government can do a policy. So making advocacy to government officials to make them understand as to why certain policies should be in place will be a way that international development partners can help support the children.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Panorama continues in a moment. Don't go away.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
The task of building a society desired by all Nigerians is exerting and requires the contribution of all Nigerians, as the challenge for everyone is to build, not to destroy, to add to, not to take away. These are the words of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the opening session of an international conference on patriotism, security, governance, and national development. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Speaking on the need for citizens to unite in building a better society, Vice President Osinbajo says the task of nation building is exerting and to even appear messy as the process continues, especially in a multi-ethnic and multi-religious nation like Nigeria.
Rather than turning on each other, we should be banding together against our common enemies, the criminal elements whose true tribe is terror and whose only creed is criminality. The truth of the matter is that there are far more of us and far more Nigerians who are interested in ensuring that this country remains one, and that this country, that we give ourselves a fair chance of working together.
The Vice President also restates his advocacy for the decentralization of the police force.
On his own part, the Nigerian police is putting a new impetus behind community policing, and this is already being implemented across the states of the Federation. But we must accept that there is a need for greater decentralization of our police force. And I, of course, have been a frequent advocate of state policing. And I believe very seriously that this is ultimately the way we must go.
On steps taken to address the perennial crisis between farmers and herders, the Vice President said the federal and state governments are committed to the implementation of the National Livestock Transformation Plan as developed by consensus of governors under the auspices of the National Economic Council. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTAi News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, has approved appointments of the new general officers, commanding principal staff officers, commandants of military institutions, and corps commandants of units and formations of Nigerian Army. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Muhammad Yarima, says the appointment redeployment is a normal routine aimed at reinvigorating the system. Major highlights of the appointment include the appointment of Major General S.A. Yaro as the Commandant of Nigerian Defense Academy, NTAi, in Kaduna, and Major General R.J.J. Owulade as the new Commander, Multinational Joint Task Force in N'Djamena, Chad. All appointments take effect from March 10, 2021. The Kebbi State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has called on community and religious leaders to assist in the sensitization of the public against the use and trafficking of drugs. The State Commandant Peter Ododu said this will help in reducing effects of drugs in the society. Osman Abdullahi Shehu has the story.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in Birnin Kebbi said it has recorded tremendous achievements in the areas of drug demand reduction, seizures, arrest, and prosecution of offenders. The agency commandant in Birnin Kebbi, Mr. Peter Odaudu, said last year alone 187 arrests were made. Also, over 563 kilograms of substances and illicit drug, as well as over half a ton of Indian hemp, were seized, adding that about 70% of the entire seizure last year was Indian hemp. The commandant equally said from the arrest included a breakthrough of 2 major dealers in cocaine and methamphetamine, and many stories of counseling and rehabilitation of drug addicts across Kebbi State were also recorded.
Sometimes the very people who go to protect are the ones who mobilize the youths
to fight off our operatives. And this is terrible.
Mr. Peters said recently the men of the agency intercepted a truck along Yawuri Road with a registration number of Osun DTN 655XE loaded with weeds weighing 1,446 kilograms, carefully concealed in bags using other food items as cover. The suspect, Aliu Mohammed, a 28-year-old who is the driver, and his co-traveler Aminu Sanusi, aged 30, said they were from Akure in Ondo State and their destination is Sokoto. Remotely speaking, said it was their first time to transport any illegal substances, praying not to associate themselves with anything unlawful again. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTAi News.
And now to sports updates from our sports desk.
After a season of break due to the coronavirus pandemic, the Higher Institution Football League HIFL 2021 season is back. Stakeholders told journalists in Lagos that the improved football league that has continued to produce talents is set to kick off with the qualifying rounds scheduled for designated centers across the country from the 19th to 23rd of April 2021. Action continues on Sunday in Nigeria's Professional Football League with 10 matches across the country. Wiki Tourist of Bauchi will host Kwara United, while Rivers United will engage Jigawa Stars. At the continental level, Nigeria's Eyimba Football Club of Aba will play against Al-Hali Benghazi. The match, which will be played on Sunday, will be live on Nigerian Television Authority (NTAi). In the English Premier League, results of some of the matches played on Saturday include Sheffield United losing 2-0 at home to Southampton, while Burnley and Arsenal played out a 1-1 draw. The star match for Sunday will see league leaders Manchester City hoping to increase their 14-point gap over city rivals Manchester United when both sides meet at the Etihad Stadium in the Manchester Derby. The International Olympics Committee Advanced Management course organized by the Nigeria Olympics Committee has ended in Lagos. 24 sports administrators from various parts of the country took part in the course. Encomiums have been poured on the former president of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation, Edward Kolawole Adeniokun, whose remains were laid to rest in Lagos. Family and friends paid glowing tribute to the former veteran journalist and poet for his service to humanity and the giant strides he made while he was president of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation. With sports updates, Samuel Johnson, NTAi News.
That is our package on Panorama this afternoon. Thanks for staying with us.